Hi, Karl de Leeuw here. Human energy fields and chakras. Albert Einstein famously said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge." Yes, let me repeat it. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Today's topic is human energy fields and chakras, and please think big and out of the box about what this means. After all, the spirit world tells me that my theories are correct, and more importantly, will be proven by science in time to come. Did you know that we can only see less than 1% of the electromagnetic spectrum? Yes, less than 1%. In fact, it's nearly zero. This 99% that we cannot see is called dark matter. Not that it is dark, but we just cannot see it with our human eyes. So on the one hand, you have gamma rays, and on the other side, radio waves. We can only see a small portion in the middle. Just imagine if we could see all the waves. It would be a nightmare. Think how wonderfully the Creator made us via evolution. We are created via a template. On the right, you can see the radio waves. Humans cannot see radio waves, but we know they exist, and we know that radio waves carry lots of information. There are gifted people that for some reason can see human energy fields and chakras around our bodies. These gifted people have seen the human energy fields and chakras of all ages and from all societies, so they are universally seen. The good news is that Angel Kryon says that a quantum viewer will be developed in our lifetime that will be able to let a normal human see the human energy fields and chakras. One of our present-day gifted people is Brennan. Not all gifted people can see all the layers, but she can see all the layers and the chakras. So let's delve deeper into how it all works and what a human energy field and a chakra are. Ignore the colored chakras for now, and let's first talk about human energy fields. Sarah Tyler Walters confirms that our soul resides in the hip area of our body, and from there you have human energy fields radiating outwards that can be seen in the contours around this illustration. In practice, each human energy field has a color. Valerie Hunt scientifically showed that each of these human energy fields has a frequency that ranges between 250 and 2000 Hertz. This is only the start of finding out more about this fascinating topic, and perhaps you can take Valerie's and others' research further. The last layer of the human energy field is called the aura, and is referred to by Sarah Tyler Walters as the roof, just like a protective layer. So where does our mind reside? The 95% of DNA that scientists are unsure of its use in the body is made up of the mind, plus the third layer of our human energy field, plus our connection to the spirit world, or also called heaven, via our chakras. But for now, let's just look at the first two, being our DNA and the third layer of the human energy field, and then later on return to my theory of how we will connect to the spirit world. First, let's look at DNA. As I said, scientists don't know what 95% of our DNA is used for. One of the purposes is to act as our mind. The first place where our mind is in our DNA. And yes, science needs to prove what Angel Kryon says. DNA communicates with itself and stores memory. So you would say, But we've been told this is the job of our brains. No neuroscientist has found where the mind is in the brain, and I and many other neuroscientists propose that the brain's job is to regulate our physical actions, like when a puppeteer pulls the string of a puppet. But our brain is not our mind. As example, let's look at a mobile phone. The sounds and pictures come from the mobile phone, but we all know that they do not actually come from the mobile phone itself. Our brain is only a relay station for physical actions that our body performs. Our DNA speaks in two directions to our human energy fields around our body via biophotons. Biophotons carry memory. The DNA in our body via biophotons speaks to all our human energy fields around our body in a two-directional way. Amazing stuff. However, when we speak of the mind, our third human energy field around our body is the next place where our mind resides. Remember, just like we cannot see a radio wave, just because we cannot see a human energy field does not mean they are not there. So now we have covered the first two places where our mind resides, which is the 95% of our DNA that scientists currently don't know what it is used for, plus the third layer of our human energy field. This is now where my theory comes in, that the spirit world tells me will be proven one day via science. In this illustration of the human energy fields, we now turn to chakras. This illustration on the left only shows one chakra at the top, but there are many more. Again, as mentioned before, gifted people can see these spinning wheels. But my theory is that what I call vortexes don't just stop at the last layer of our human energy fields, but are like those in nature where a vortex is continuous. My view is that the only reason why gifted people can see vortexes is that they interact with the human energy fields. This is because the vortexes are a continuation of the human energy fields and speak to each other. I believe that chakras, or let's call them vortexes on the right, continue to the spirit world. Most people that had near-death experiences talk of going down a tunnel of light, and I think these vortexes are just like that. They say that what they experience is total love and don't want to come back to earth. So how could this be possible? My theory is that we connect quasars, which are also vortexes, via our chakras. The Quran, in chapter 2 verse 29 says, "It is the Creator who created everything on the earth for you." Then the Creator turned towards heaven and fashioned it into 7 heavens. In the Quran, chapter 11 verse 7, it says, "Enthroned above the waters, it was the Creator who created the heavens and the earth." Quasars have water around them and a vortex. So what is my theory of how it works? Back in 1981 and 1982, I was in the South African Navy and for 2 years read Morse code. This was before the days of satellites. I sat in an underground bunker on the west coast of Namibia and listened to the enemy sending Morse code messages. There were 2 other stations where electronic warfare operators did exactly the same. The second station was somewhere in the middle of South Africa, and the third on the east coast of South Africa. As we all read the Morse code messages, we would push a button to work out where the enemy was sending the message from. This is called triangulation, and we could figure out where the enemy was within, say, 50 meters. Now just imagine that via our 7 chakras, we are connected to 7 quasars located at different places in the universe. You will have a perfect triangulation scenario, because the more triangulation stations there are, the more precise things can be. So what my theory is saying is that we are controlled by the 7 heavens that are quasars like a puppet on a string. And this is the most interesting part. We control ourselves via free will. So we are our own puppeteers, what we call mind. In a vortex, there is a vacuum, and in a vacuum, you are connected anywhere in the universe in real time. So that must be why people undergoing near-death experiences can go to the spirit world and come back in record time, what they call a tunnel of light. You will notice in the illustration there's one vortex loop missing. I'm told by the spirit world that gifted people just cannot see another 2 chakras, but that the quantum viewer that will be invented will be able to see the 2 missing chakras. And it is these 2 extra chakras that make up the 7th loop.